Welcome back to the Build Show. I'm Travis Brungart, and this week I want to talk to you about something I never do: radiant heat in the floor. Come check it out.
Come see Travis Brungart at Build Show Live, scan the QR code, or click the link in the description for tickets.
All right, so this is going to look very familiar to all your Build Show fans because this is warm board. You've seen Steve talk a lot about this. This is a radiant heat system panel that is designed by warm board to suit your space with different zones. It's all planned out and very well executed, but it allows you to snap your tubing in and then provide your radiant heat through that floor. And this is just one of the 3 different applications that I see in this project. Let me show you the other 2. Let's go outside. So we don't do a ton of radiant in our market because it's a lot of air conditioning, and there's not a lot of radiant air conditioning cooling, I should say. There's not a lot of radiant cooling in terms of systems, but Randy, you are from up north, as the Northern Built Pro would suggest, and this is a pretty common thing in your market, the way that we're standing in a garage floor with a slab condition and a bunch of pipes up. Do you want to walk us through this?
Yeah, so radiant heat, we have each of these pipes goes into the concrete. They're usually stapled or somehow fastened in place, and then they pour the concrete over them, right? Mm-hmm. So we circulate hot water through there, warms the concrete up, radiates into the room, and radiates heat to all the surfaces in here, right? So you bring a cold vehicle in my climate, that might be 20 below, 30 below, full of snow. You bring it into a warm garage, and by the morning, that's nice and toasty warm. All the snow's melted off. You back out in the cold and the snow and do whatever you're gonna do. Now there are some limitations to these. When you're installing these pipes, this is probably one circuit, one pipe, right? Mm-hmm. Maximum of 300 feet. Okay. That's all the bigger that you can make one loop. And in my climate, usually they're either 12 or 9 inches spacing, depending on the heat load of the structure. Okay. We have some flow control. You're able to speed up or slow down water flow if you need yep. to. I don't know exactly why there's, this is a feed through. Like, we're going to supply hot water, it's going to do its thing, but it's going to continue on to something else.
Yeah, this could be an inline to maybe go back to the heat source.
Okay.
Or the other systems, because we have the warm board inside and we also have the basement system. It might be one big boiler for all of them.
Yeah, the basement has multiple port areas. So with that 300 feet, we have 6 different ports here. Mm-hmm. I would think that's more than enough for this space.
Especially in this climate. Your cold temperatures, really cold is 0, right?
Yeah.
It's not the 30 or 40 below.
Typically not. We have a few days in the minuses, but not a lot. So you mentioned snow melting off of the garage, off of the cars when they come into the garage. With this warm floor condition, do we vaporize that moisture? And then is there a risk that I should be aware of in this garage?
There can be, yeah. If you have a way to address all that humidity. The snow melts off, it's going to turn to vapor at some point. And I've seen people put ceiling fans in and they get that vapor mixed up really good, but it's not going anywhere, right? It's still.
I want it wet all over.
Yeah, exactly. So what we really want to do is make sure we can have in my climate, you may not need it here, but in my climate, we need a way to address all that humidity.
Dedicated dehumidifier?
That'd be one way. I've been in garages that have ERVs or HRVs, or.
Why would you choose that over just a dedicated dehumidifier?
Fresh air, I don't know.
Fresh air in the garage.
Yeah, and in our climate, in the wintertime, it's pretty easy to dehumidify because we're always
cold. Oh, I see.
Or a lot of times we'll do just a regular bath fan or some kind of a fan to create a negative pressure in the house, but you're at least getting rid of that moisture.
Got it.
There are a couple that are dedicated to garages, so they're just sensing moisture. They operate off a humidistat basically. Okay. Or a couple of them also sense carbon monoxide. So if you'll start the car up in the garage, that elevates, it cranks that thing up and evacuates a little.
Smart.
Yeah, that is smart. I think for our climate zone and the amount of snow load we see here, probably run more risk of leaving your garage doors open during a heavy rain and getting more moisture in that way. Yeah. But it is stuff to consider.
Yeah.
Well, let's go into the basement and check out the last zone, I guess you'd say, because there are a bunch of different radiant system loops that all have to be managed and zoned to make it comfortable and efficient down there.
Okay.
So we swapped out one expert for another. We had Randy step out for a second because our client joined us on the job. Brandon, thanks for having us at the project today.
Great to be here.
It's always nice to get to talk to the person who is the designer, the materials selection. I mean, you and Ashley together, but obviously this system that we were kind of fumbling through talking about in the garage and me upstairs, you worked with Warmboard to design this whole thing and you installed it, right?
That's correct.
So we're in the basement now, and there are 3 different areas where we have loops coming up. And then there's also the Warmboard panels on the main floor. We talked about the garage, but this is all Warmboard. You worked through the design with them. Is this a whole bunch of different zones? Explain all this for me.
Sure, yeah, we have 3 zones in the basement, one for the main area that each kid's bedroom gets their own zone. And then upstairs, I think we have 7 different zones. So each of them can be controlled for the heat within the house. Currently, we're also down here, the mechanical room that has all the equipment that will power the radiant flooring system. We are doing electric. Hopefully one day we'll have solar, that way it could be self-contained from that standpoint. So I think there's 3 condenser units outside, and then we have the boilers inside, and it all gets controlled through their system.
Wow. So I would imagine when you first called up Warmboard, this could have been a little overwhelming. And you worked through the whole process, the design, the securing each water pipe. How was that?
It was really easy. We worked with Matthew, and he was great to give us your plans. Where do you want the zones? We went through that, and they give you this whole drawing set, kind of paint by numbers. And so we came down here with the tubing, and we laid it on top of the rebar. It was on 9-inch centers. Okay. And then we just tied it down with zip ties to the rebar that we had suspended. It's about halfway within the concrete. Okay. And then we have 4 inches of insulation underneath the slab. That way most of the radiant heat comes back out.
Going up. Yep. And you plan on doing the Warmboard on the first floor, so you're invested in the system.
Correct, yes.
Did the basement, as soon as we're at a stage where we can install it on the first floor, you're planning on doing that, just you and your wife and maybe a helper or 2?
Correct, just be us, and it's the only heat we have in the house. We're relying on Warmboard to provide all our heating.
So my understanding is that, and I've never lived in a house with radiant, but my understanding is that it is the most even and comfortable heat. Like obviously with forced air, you have hot spots and cold spots depending on your physical location to the termination. The supply register, if it's blowing on you, can make you feel a certain way. If you're far away from it, you can feel a different way. If you're in a drafty area in a less efficient house. But is that what drew you to Radiant? Is that evenness, or was it the quiet? Like, what made you want to work with Warmboard?
Really, the comfort. You know, as being a build show watcher, it's all about the comfort of the client, and so having a comfortable space to live in. We live in a townhome now. Your nose is cold, your toes are cold, even though the air is not that cold. So having a space that's just comfortable and relaxing to live in is our goal for going with the Radiant flooring. Just a nice, even heat throughout the space.
Well, I think you're definitely going to have that, and with the envelope that you've designed and executed here, we've really got an opportunity for exceptional comfort for generations. So congrats, man. Very cool.
Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Yes.
So we just wrapped up with our client, and I was asking him, you know, why would you put all your blood, sweat, and tears into this Radiant system? And he said it's about the comfort. And I thought, who better to explain why Radiant provides a different level of comfort than, say, a traditional forced air system than our resident building science expert, Randy.
Yeah, you're right. Radiant's different. It is a different feel. It's a lot of the houses that I'm in northern Minnesota, the thermostat's not set as high. A lot of them are, you know, to maintain comfort, they might be set at 65 instead of 68 or 70. Mm-hmm. A good way to explain Radiant, though, is a big bonfire. You've been to a big bonfire, mm-hmm. and it's roaring, and you feel that heat, and you actually got to back up a little bit.
Yeah.
But you feel it on your face. You don't feel it on your backside.
Right.
Right? That's Radiant. Okay. But when the surfaces are all around you are warm, that, you know, you're gaining heat or losing heat depending on the temperature of the surfaces from your body. That's going to make you feel hot or cold. Cold picture window, big picture window in the wintertime. You stand next to that, you feel that chill.
Because heat moves to cold, it's pulling it off you.
Exactly, it's leaving your body to that window, warming the surface of the window up. That's basically how this works. One other trick that I learned in my climate is that sometimes if you have a real still house, there's not a lot of air moving in it. The air can feel cool, but all the surfaces are warm. And you get up and you start moving around, or you have a ceiling fan or something like that. Now the air is brushing against those surfaces, and now that air temperature comes up a little bit. So there's some tricks to learn about radiant heat, but personally I love it. In my climate, it's probably the biggest heat source, the main heat source that we see installed in new homes.
Well, maybe we'll see more of that. I like the idea of being ensconced in comfort, and I guess that's what you get from Radiant. That's all we've got for you this week on The Build Show. I'm Travis Brungart. Thanks for watching.